let's get into what's it called? Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish. Let's get into that madness. All right, first, I'm going to Twitter because some crap happened yesterday on Twitter, and I want to let people know what happened and what I was talking about, because I've gotten so many DMs about this post. I didn't even think it was that dramatic. So, and this all has to go into the Ari Spears story. All right, so I posted this yesterday on Twitter. Funny thing, I accidentally uploaded the same video to YouTube 3 times. They were all demonetized, so I asked for a review on each one. One was cleared, the second was confirmed on review, and the third was age restricted. They were all the same video. This thing got like so many, like 1,500 likes and all this other stuff. So people were like, yo, so then people were like, yo, can I see it? Can I see it? So I'm like, all right, why did this happen? What happened with this video? Now, this was all about my Tiffany Haddish video. Now, obviously, he's dealing with very sensitive topics, right? It's dealing with CP, it's dealing with, child's issues and things of that nature. I'm trying to be careful with the words I say because I don't want to get demonetized. So when we cut the video, we tried to cut out all those bad words and cut out things that that would get it demonetized. So we put up the first time, and so we actually uploaded the video like I think 5 times altogether. So the first time we uploaded the video, there were small clips with R. Kelly's bump and grind in it. So copyright claim. So for the second time we cut that. We cut out the song. So we said I would cut the song down to just like maybe a 2-second or 1-second clip of the song, right? So we cut it all down to 1 second, and then that was a copyright strike. So then we're like, all right, we're just gonna cut the song out altogether. So we cut the song out altogether, and my editor uploaded one, and I uploaded one, but then I hit refresh or something happened, but then I wound up uploading 2 of them. So all 3 went up on to the YouTube thing. So then it was like all 3 of them went yellow. So I was like, you know what? This is an interesting thing. I can just make them all, I can ask for a review on each one and see if they all come back yellow or see what happens. So I was shocked because one popped up like 18 restricted, age restricted. So I'm like, age restricted. So I'm getting scared. I'm like, oh shit, if all 3 of them going to go age restricted, like, that's not good. I've got, I'm saying they're good. All 3 of them go age restricted. So I'm like, all right. So the first one's age restricted. Scare me up. The second one isn't age restricted. It's just confirmed by manual review. So I'm like, all right, that's not bad. So I thought the third one had no hope. I'm like, either this is going to be age restricted or it's going to be confirmed by manual review. The third one got a green light. It was the last one. It got a green light. And to show you how much I thought it was just going to still be restricted, I actually sent it public while it was still demonetized. So I made the video public while it was still demonetized because I'm like, it's not going to make it. The other 2 got slammed hard. This one went green. And that's why I had wrote that. I'm like, it's funny. So obviously when the other 2 went bad, I deleted the other 2 I'm like, why am I going to keep them up there forever? So I deleted the other 2, made the other, and then now the other one went green. And I'm like, wow. The same video 3 times. So that's why I wrote the tweet. And now so now people are like, well, where's the proof you did that? I'm like, well, I deleted the other 2 videos. So I went to my back end. The only thing I'll show you is like, there's 4 videos that are still accounting for your thing, for your, how in your back end for YouTube, when you have videos that, let's say if I say they're good and YouTube says they're bad, they still count to your review rating, even if you delete them. So you can see them there, but it's like they only say there are 4 videos that they don't say what the videos are. So, but that's essentially what happened. So that's what happened with that video. Let me tell you about the story before we talking about it. All right. Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish, they are comedians, and they did some skits back in the day. And the skit was, quote, through the eyes of a blank, or someone who likes children in a criminal way. So that's what they did. They did this video. Now, they were doing edgy comedy all the way back then. So what happened with these 2 comedians? Well, they're doing this. And after the skit, it seems like Ari Spears started fat shaming a rapper named Lizzo. Lizzo is a plus size rapper. And, you know, it's one of those things where no matter how fat I am, my body's looking good and all that stuff. And we're actually going to talk about the model stuff too today. So she's doing that. And he illicitly called her, he says she looks like a plate of mashed potatoes. You know, if you give her, he said, if you cut her, she'll bleed chocolate milk, stuff like that, you know, just fat shaming it. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's saying she's one hamburger away from a heart attack like that. Those are his jokes about Lizzo, saying Lizzo's fat. So after he started fat shaming her fans went back and I think started doing some digging. And here we are, right? Here we are. 10 years ago, you did this and here it is. And now there's literally people are going to protest in front of the DA's office asking for both Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears to be arrested for what they allegedly did. So that's kind of the background of the story. So now the children who were in those skits, one is now 22, the other was 7 when the skits happened. The kid's now 14. So the sister is a guardian of the younger brother. So the sister and the younger brother, who were part of these skits that were very questionable, are suing Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish for allegedly abuse of minors. So that's where we are at. Skit though from these guys, it was edgy back then in 2013. I don't think you can say that skit that they did in 2013 was not good in 2013. A lot of people are trying to make this equivalence that it was okay then, but not okay now. Like our standards have changed on this type of stuff. And I'm going to say it. I don't think it was even good back then. You know, if you really just go back to 2013, you think that skit was even Funny or Die when they saw the skit, right? In 2018, this was not even now. They found it 4 years ago. They said, no, this is ridiculous. This is disgusting, and got it out. So here's what Tiffany Haddish said about this whole thing. And this is her statement. She wrote it on IG, Instagram for all you old people. So here's Tiffany Haddish on Instagram. It says, I know people have a bunch of questions. I get it. I'm right there with you. Unfortunately, because there is an ongoing legal case, there is very little that I can say right now. Facts, right? Because your lawyer is going to tell you, keep your goddamn mouth shut, right? Keep your effing mouth shut. Don't say anything, right? But it is what it is. But clearly, while the sketch was intended to be comedic, right? Intentions, it wasn't funny at all. So this is her saying this wasn't funny at all. Right, it was intended to be, but it wasn't funny at all. And I deeply regret having agreed to act in it. So she's got regrets. I'm sorry, it wasn't funny. Mea culpa. I really look forward to being able to share a lot more about the situation as soon as I can. So this is what you do, right? You send a blanket statement. I'm sorry for whatever happened in the past. I wouldn't have done it again. You know, admit to no real guilt or anything, and just say, you know, hey, look more detail. So that was her statement. And I think this is she has a good PR team. Her PR team probably said, we got to just say something just to get this thing behind us. I think this is a good statement. And I think at this point, she did what she needed to do to get the wolves off of her in this instance. Now, I also think Tiffany Haddish, in my opinion, Tiffany Haddish is kind of collateral damage, because this was really about Ari Spears going after Lizzo. Tiffany Haddish kind of just got hit with it on, the back end. She kind of got slapped with it because she was just involved in the skit. So I think that's kind of where she got knocked down. But now Ari Spears, who I think the main focus of this whole thing was, he also responded to these allegations. So let's hear what he has to say, because he went off. He wasn't having it. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the skit, I will say this: that skit, if you see the unedited video, see, a lot of people are seeing edited versions and saying it's not that bad. You guys need to watch the unedited version. If you have the opinion that skit is not bad, watch the unedited version, the one where they have the kid in their underwear and the legs are open and all, and zooming in on the kid. That is crazy. Like that, like the unedited version is sick. The edited version is a lot better than the unedited version. So a lot of people are making their opinions based on the edited version, which is not as bad. But if you look at the unedited version, it is unbelievably horrible. Unbelievably horrible. And usually I can find, I can find the jokes in a lot of stuff, but in that I was like, this is not funny. So here is Ari Spears talking about what he feels about this situation
that I keep talking about. Listen, this is an extortion case. This is a shakedown. And I didn't need my lawyer to tell me this, to say this, but I'm going to echo her words. We won't
Well, hold on. One thing I will say that I want to ask you people in the chat. It may be an extortion, right? Like he's saying, it's extortion to shakedown, but you people saw that video. You know, you can say it's a shakedown, but that video speaks for itself, brother. You put yourself in a position to be shaken down.
Be shaken down. And believe me, it's bothering me not to talk about the skit. Because Annie and I have been talking about it, and there's some very valid things I feel like I have to say or want to say, but just can't at this time.
Now, I got to ask you guys again. How do you justify that video? Like he's saying there's more context to it. For those who saw the edited one, like, is it really, like, is it anything he can say that's going to say, oh, that video is okay now, right? It's like, I think you take the L on that video, right? It was a bad idea. It was bad. We did the wrong thing. Let's move on. But he's almost saying that it's not really, oh, no, the video is good. Listen, we've watched the video. I don't think that video, is there someone in the chat who thinks that video was good? That's what happened with the mom. So the mom said it was for Nickelodeon, Tiffany Haddish. But again, those are all allegations, right? So, but the thing is that we got the video. Right. So no matter what we're talking about, we all can just watch the video and say that video is not appropriate. To be honest with you, I'm surprised the police aren't looking into that video. Like, yeah. And just so we're also clear too, I want to make it very clear for everybody. Abuse is just not physical, right? People keep saying, well, these kids weren't touched. They were no. People, there's what's mental abuse and physical abuse. Having children do things that are sexually explicit. Think about it, right? What it is doing to the person's mind. Having children do certain things could be as, right? So just stop thinking about it all in this physical context. There's also a mental, and that's what they're being sued for. They're being sued for the mental strain that they put on these children, putting them in a situation where they're doing things like this. You know, again, in some of the allegations, they were showing the children what to do to be more explicit sexually. Now, if that's the case, that is technically. Let's get back to Ari and see what he's saying about this skit.
And I'm no coward. I'm not running from anything, and I'm not guilty of anything. It's the reason why I won't turn my mentions off on my Instagram. It's the reason why, I'm not deleting any of my old posts. And I would love to address it head on. Tony Montana, Scarface, balcony scene, shooting 1,000 Colombians. But I can't.
But the thing is, what can he say? Like, I feel sorry for the guy, right? I feel sorry for the guy. But what can he say to justify this? He's making it seem like there's like something that he can say to make it all right, right? I wish I could just tell you guys the truth. We saw the, I'm like, I saw the video. What truth is there? Just watch the video. I saw the video too. It's like, I don't know. I'm not understanding where he's going with this.
I just can't, and it's paining me to do so because I'm a fighter. I'm not a runner, and my character's being assassinated. Again, I want to address the skit especially, but I just can't. I will say this though to the loyal listeners: if you remember back when that Arnold Schwarzenegger skit that we did. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the system, fucker. Get back, system, try to fuck back. You guys didn't know it at the time, and I couldn't say it at the time, but that's what this is about. That's what this is about.
I don't get that reference at all. All right, so.
It's a shakedown and extortion.
It's a shakedown. And
I will just say this. I want to say thank you to the very lovely lady. I won't say her name, but there was a woman who hit me up on Instagram, and she wrote me, hey, Aries.
Now, I also got to say one thing. Being in a position where you're saying, I can't say anything about this. He said a lot about it. Right? For being in a position where you say, I can't say anything. My lawyer told me not to say anything. Now we going into witness statements and extortion attempts. Like, he's really saying a lot about it. At first, I was like, oh, he's going to keep his mouth shut. No. He kind of gave us the whole, my lawyer told me I can't say nothing about it. Now we're 3 minutes in and that's all he's talking about.
Aries, if you need my help regarding and she also mentions the person's name who's trying to shake us down. as much as I want to expose that bitch, I won't say her name either.
All right. So we know it's the person suing. He's called her a B. He's not going to say her name because it's Jane Doe in the lawsuit, right? So he actually technically shouldn't say her name, but now he's gonna lead us through some breadcrumbs and let us know who this person really is.
But she goes, if you need my help regarding the blank situation, have your legal team reach out to me. I've known this person for over 35 years. They're a huge scammer. I can prove it to you. But
this is one thing about this little IG thing that he's reading. I don't understand it because the person who's suing him is 22 years old. And the other minor who's involved in most of it is 14. So how could this person, maybe that he's talking about knowing the mother for 35 years, but the mother's not the one suing him. It's the children. So I know the person for 35. The person's only 22 years old, right? So who's he talking about? Maybe he's talking about the mom. That's what I'm assuming he's talking about.
Here's my number. I will be able to assist you. And I will say this, if you can even dig up the history yourself, but this person has a history of these false accusations, saying that they've been raped. They even once blamed the whole entire San Bernardino Police Department for allegedly fondling her and her children at the same time in the same house. Picture that. An entire fucking police department.
Now, see, this is him not talking about the case. If I was to tell you, I'm like, what the hell was that? I said, don't talk about the case. Said, yeah, there's no comment, and the truth will come out, justice will prevail, or something like that. Now we're into other situations. Now we got the San Bernardino police, and she said the whole Kenneth, he's giving us a lot of information to find out who this person is, right? So this is crazy. This is when your lawyer says, don't talk about it. Don't just at the beginning say, my lawyer told me not to talk about it, and then go on a 10-minute rant talking about it. This is the lawyer's nightmare right now.
Come on, man. And what's killing me is, all the people hitting me up. At no point there's a little bit of, common sense or red flags or you just whatever, man.
Common sense or red flags. I don't think maybe he hasn't watched his own video, or maybe he just thinks the video was just, since it's comedy, it's just like, it's a nothing thing, right? It's just comedy. It's nothing. Why are people having such a big deal? There were no red flags all this time, but he failed to say people watch the video. I don't think you can watch that video, and if someone comes up to you and say, hey, listen, what's up with that video? That video was kind of crazy, bro. And he's like, oh, well, why dare you question me about the video where I'm jumping into a tub with a kid after pretending that, like, yeah, we're concerned. That video doesn't look good. But it seems like I think he honestly thinks the video was okay and that people are just taking it out of proportion. But I think that's where he's missing it, right? He's looking at it through his eyes, but he has to look at it through the eyes of everyone else who's not looking at it, all his experiences, right? Either explain to us why it's messed up or accept the fact that people looking at that video are going to be creeped out by it. I was creeped out by it.
People are just running with this, and it didn't help with the Lizzo thing. So I'm having a bad week, but it be what it be. So again, thank you to the people that support, love, standing by me. I love y'all back. Now let's have a podcast. Steve, you know what to do.
So that's it. So now he's going to Spears and Steinberg podcast. So if you guys want to see his full podcast, check it out. So that's what he said at the beginning of it. I think he's in trouble, and I think he's so gone. Like he's so trying to defend it that he just doesn't see, like, oh my God, right? This is something that you can't defend. You got to just take this L and say, hey, this was bad. It's bad taste. All right. But that doesn't mean you have to pay these people money. But that video is just too much to overcome. And I understand he's trying to be hardcore. He has a reputation to maintain. But I'll throw it to you guys. If you guys were their lawyers, I think Tiffany Haddish's statement about the situation, I think that was appropriate, right? Hey, I wouldn't have done this again. This is something bad, blah, 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 blah. I think his statement, he essentially attacked the victims, which is okay because, they're technically not victims right now, but he essentially attacked them, saying that they're extortionists. There it is. He attacked the mom. He's saying, Bernadette, giving all these other examples. And I think at the end of the day, it's not really satisfying. I don't think he really wants to face the reality that this skit was a horrible skit, and they got caught out there. And if you're going after people, like he went after Lizzo, people are going to go after you. And when they start digging, they can find something on anybody, right? And I think that's the issue here, right? The issue is that he was living in a glass house and was throwing bombs. And now those stones have destroyed his home. So it is what it is.